Hey everyone, and welcome back to Colt's Old Scale Trains. For this week's video, we're going to start a new series on this channel that I hope will entertain, inform, and inspire some of you. I plan for this new series to be focused on scratch building an RJ Corman engine shed and O-scale to house some of the engines that I own. Now with that all being said, I'm a beginner and have just gotten into the O-scale modeling community. And because of that, I don't have any connection with any content creators or members in the community. But I hope all of that changes soon. But as for this project, I'm going to be completely on my own. Now, I've never scratch built anything in my life, and what little structures that I do own, they're all pre-built Rail King buildings. So this is going to be a new learning process for me, but I hope that you'll come along for the ride with me as we build this engine shed together. So before I show what little that I have accomplished so far since I decided I wanted to build this structure, I want to show you some background of my old Kentucky dinner train and photos of the real engine shed that I drew my inspiration from. So as I just mentioned, the building that you see here is located in Bardstown, Kentucky, where RJ Corman hosts their My Old Kentucky Dinner Train. Now this train is quite the unique experience where people can attend as a group of 4 or as a couple and ride the train on the ex-Louisville and Nashville line that RJ Corman has renamed the Bardstown line for about 2.5 to 3 hours. Here, passengers are teleported back to the 1940s where they ride in 1940s passenger cars and experience what it was like for luxury train travel back then. Guests are fed a wonderful 3-course meal and traverse through breathtaking Kentucky scenery as they dine in 1940s fashion. The train is pulled by 2 EMD FP7A units. Now these engines were built sometime between June of 1949 and December of 1953 and were originally ordered from EMD by the Southern Railway as numbers 6141 and 6138. Now the engine shed that I'm going to be drawing the inspiration from sits directly across the highway from the depot in Bardstown and is where they store the 2 leading units when they're not in use. Well, a few weeks ago I was finally ready to start this project, so I stopped off at the depot in hopes to get some reference photos of the building and all of its features so that I could have the real thing to go by as I tackled this project. So I measured each individual piece on the building, such as doors, windows, sidewalks, gutters, and especially the huge RJ Corman sign on the front side. So then I used these measurements and converted them down to 1/48 scale or O scale in order to know the dimensions of the building that I'd be creating. Now this engine shed is a 2-bay shed that is 50 feet wide, 120 feet long, and 25 feet high at the roof's peak. Well now, as you can see, the building is not very big in size, but that means it will be great for a small layout like I plan to build that won't take much real estate up on the table. Now at the time of me measuring the building and gaining inspiration, I was also searching on the internet for some photos to go by, and I came across a user on the O-Gauge Model Railroading forum known as NS1719. Now this individual has been a huge inspiration and a help to me because he actually built an RJ Corman engine shed and it turned out the way that I would love mine to look like when I get done with it. As you can see in these photos that NS1719 posted to the forum, he did a fantastic job going into great detail building this engine shed, and I hope that I can accomplish the same effect with mine during this series as well. Okay, so to give you a little bit of a progress update for this video on my building, I needed a way to make the signs to be placed on the ends of the building, but I really didn't know how to accomplish this at all. So I ended up reaching out on social media for help, and a gentleman in my community offered to take the measurements that I'd gotten, convert them down to the correct size, and 3D print the RJ Corman signs for me. Now, as you can see, these turned out great, and I'm super thrilled to have them, and I'm so thankful that he was so willing to help me out. So to wrap up this video, I'm going to leave you with a little time-lapse video of me coloring them bright Corman red to prepare for the upcoming structure. Alright, so that's all that I have for this first episode of this O-Scale RJ Corman engine shed building series. I know I rambled a lot in this video, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. I'm so excited to be able to start working on this project and for each of you to join me as we complete it as well. I'm going to update you all as frequently as I possibly can on the progress of the structure, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. And as always, if you've liked any of my content so far and want to see some more of it, please consider subscribing to my channel, hitting that like button on this video, and hit the little bell icon so you don't miss any new videos like this one. Again, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.